Catch this. Watch this. What if God allowed the enemy to come in like a flood just for you to see who would stay on your swim team? Because some don't want to swim against the current. Let's get to the word and I'll explain. Isaiah 59:19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. Let's look at current as an adjective, belonging to the present time, happening or being used or done now. Noun, a body of water, of air moving in a definite direction, especially through a surrounding body of water or air in which there is less movement. So we know that currents can change. So got this online. Ocean currents can be generated by wind, density, differences in water masses caused by temperature and salinity, variations, gravity, and events such as earthquake. Currents are cohesive streams of seawater that circulate the ocean. So I remember back in the day, going to swim class, and some people didn't want to get in the water. Some people didn't want to swim because they got pushed in. But what if God allowed the enemy to come in like a flood just to show you who's going to stay on your swim team? So what do I mean? That means like when, it's easy when everything is going good and the current is going your way and you swimming, downstream and the current is flowing with you. So it's easier. But what happens when the current comes against you and you still got to go that way? And see what's happening is some people are getting out the water. They like, nah, I ain't trying to go. So God allows that to happen, and God is trying to show you who's really on your team. Why? 1 Corinthians 15:33. Do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good character. Proverbs 22:25. Or you may learn their ways and entangle yourself in a snare. So what the thing is, it's not that they're just bad people, but you got to stay around negative. You got to stay away from negative people. And I tell people all the time, if God is the author, why do you keep letting people have a main character in your role, in your life? They can be down to a lesser role. And yeah, some of them may be family members or whatever. Instances like that. You may have a child by somebody or whatever the case may be. But why would you let them be a main character? Yeah, we should still pray for them. But what is God saying? God is trying to show you some things. See, a lot of people, we look at it and we like, oh man, but see, God wants to use those things and show you. He said, I'll use the foolish things to confound the wise. So God will allow something simple to happen because God can stop it, but remember he said he'll never put more than you can bear. So God allowed it to happen just to show you who's around you. Ooh, 1 Thessalonians 5:12. It talks about to know those that labor among you. See, watch this. Jesus knew who Judas was before Judas knew who Judas was. And see, it wasn't Jesus' job to expose Judas. See, it's not our job to expose Judas. You got to let Judas expose Judas, because right after that, promotion is coming and God is trying to show you something. See, God tried to show you like when somebody's trying to come up and you ain't got it all like you want it. And then it's only a few people around you. And then all of a sudden, as soon as you make it, a certain number of people come around, you're like, oh yeah, I knew you was going to make it. You was like, but you weren't really around me when like I was struggling. Like you weren't around me when I was grinding. Like you weren't around me when I was trying to do this. Nah, people, when the current switch, they gonna get out the water. It's just as simple as that, but that's just how it is. But you know what? It's a blessing because it says all things work together for good for those who are called according to his purpose, for those that love him. So what God is saying is, if you love me, I'll give you a promise. I promise that no matter what it is, it's all going to work out to your good. And see, it's not our job to try to figure God out, because if we do that, we can spiritually frustrate ourselves trying to figure out God and how he going to do this, how this going to work and stuff like this. I can't believe this person is coming like this. And sometimes we didn't know that certain people was going to be a certain way. But the one thing about a Judas, which could be a female or a male, we're talking about spiritually, is that we didn't expect them to do what they did. But watch this. Judas always makes it past the first cut. See, if you look in the Bible, when they were talking about in John chapter 6, verse 66, there was going to be more disciples. And when Jesus told them to, follow him, a lot of them left. But Judas made it past the first cut. See, you got to pay attention. So again, pay attention who's around you. And those that are around you that's real, stay close to them. You know what I'm saying? Be and appreciate who God placed in your life. I'm trying to tell you. And again, pray for those individuals. Proverbs 16:7. When your ways please the Lord, he'll make enemies be at peace. And what does enemies mean? Anybody causing hatred in your life. And I'm pretty sure there's some people around you that are close that are causing some hatred in your life. As always, bring you that truth tea. Love you. God bless.